Hi! Nandito po ako ngayon. Follow up po ito sa vlog ko kahapon about the life of an ESL teacher. So, ipapakita ko po sa inyo kung paano po maging isang guro at kung paano po kami magturo dito sa native camp. So, nandito po yung mga procedures, steps, kung ano po kung paano po namin ginagawa ang pagtuturo sa native camp. So, 1 year po ako dito nagtuturo sa native camp. In order to become a teacher in native camp, doesn't necessarily you have to be graduate. So, kahit hindi ka po graduate dito, makakapagturo ka as long as you can speak fluent English and the correct pronunciation also. Tapos po, isa pa po, maganda rin po yung sahod dito sa native camp. Okay din po kasi single mom po ako, nagkakaya ko pong sustain yung araw-araw na pangangailangan namin ng mga anak ko. So, ito po, ipapakita ko po sa inyo ngayon. Sana po ay matutunan ninyo at magkaroon po kayo ng idea kung paano ang trabaho ng isang online ESL teacher. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning to you too.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
By the way, my name is Ken. What's your name?
My name is Kazuki.
Okay,
Kazuki.
nice to meet you, Kazuki.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, so Kazuki, again, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, it's great to hear that, Kazuki. By the way, Kazuki, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you well.
And can you see me clearly?
I can see you clearly. Yes.
Are you ready to start?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so for today's lesson, you have chosen travel, right?
Oh,
Daily news.
Daily news, yes. Okay, yes.
Okay, daily news 7 to level 7 to 9. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so let's read the title together. Please repeat after me, okay? India's Mizoram state, a selfless community.
India's Mizoram state, a selfless community.
Okay, very good. So now let's start with words and phrases. So let's learn some of the words that are used in the article. So we will have the word, we will listen to the audio of the words, and then you will repeat after the audio, okay? So we will have it twice, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's start with the first word.
Relatively. Relatively.
Okay. So I will be the one to read the meaning, and then you will be the one to read the example sentence. Okay, Kazuki? Okay. Relatively is an adverb, quite good, bad, etc., in comparison with other similar things or with what you expect.
These beautiful old towns have remained relatively untouched by tourism.
Okay, now let's move on to the second word.
Distinct. Distinct.
Okay. Distinct is an adjective. It means clearly noticeable, that certainly exists.
The sales chart shows a distinct decline in the past few months.
Okay, next word.
Voluntarily.
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 Okay, voluntarily is an adverb in a voluntary way, or it is made or done or given willingly.
He voluntarily gave a DNA sample.
Okay, next word.
Sustainability.
Ability.
Sustainability.
Okay, sustainability is the quality of being able to continue over a period of time.
Healthy soil is identified as the first priority for the long-term sustainability of food production.
Okay, so Kazuki, do you have any questions with the words and phrases?
No, I don't.
Okay, so now let's move on to the next part, comprehension.
Yes.
This time we will listen to the article, but before that, let's check the questions that you will have to answer later. Okay, now Kazuki, please look at the questions as I read them to you, okay? Okay, so I will be the one to read the questions. Number one, what is the population of Mizoram? Number two, what did the inner line regulation do for the Mizo people? Number three, what is the Mizo community over self lifestyle about? Okay, so are you ready to listen to the article now,
Yeah.
Kazuki?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's listen.
India's Mizoram state, a selfless community. Mizoram, India's northeastern state, has a population of a little more than 1 million, making it India's second least populous state. Mizoram almost feels like a different country compared to the rest of India. But what makes this state so unique is its way of life. At the very basic level, it's about being honest, kind, and helpful to others. But on a larger level, it's about being selfless and putting the community before yourself. Mizoram was recognized as a separate state in 1987. British colonizers introduced the Inner Line Regulation, which restricted the entry of outsiders into tribal populated Mizo Hills. The regulation helped protect the rights and culture of the tribal people. The regulation also means that any Indian who's not from Mizoram needs a permit to enter, study, or work there. It also limits the entry of visitors, a reason Mizoram remains a relatively regulated society. There is, therefore, a strong sense of being Mizo and a need to protect Mizo values and its way of life. Assistant Professor Ruth Laremwati, who teaches Mizo literature at Mizoram University in Aizawl, says that these distinctive Mizo values are passed down from one generation to another. In order to preserve their customs and values, the Young Mizo Association, YMA, was established. It focuses on teaching the spirit of Mizo. Their charity work extends to every occasion, such as when building a road and when there are landslides or funerals. YMA communicates the message in the locality, and everyone comes to help. In villages, if someone is building a house, everyone helps voluntarily. In Mizoram, harmony and sustainability of society, rather than economic wealth, are the primary objectives of development. The Mizo community over self lifestyle is about the spirit of helping others in need.
Okay, now Kazuki,
Yes.
let's proceed to answer the questions. Can you please read the directions, Kazuki?
You mean the question?
Yeah, you will answer the questions regarding about the article, okay? So I will be the one to read the questions for you. Number one, what is the population of Mizoram?
The population of Mizoram is more than 1 million. A little more than 1 million.
Yes, very good. That is correct. The Mizoram's population is a little more than 1 million, making it India's second least populous state.
Yes, 1 million is not that.
Yeah, less than 1 million. Considering,
It's the second least. Okay.
yeah, second
Okay.
least. Yeah, because you know why? India
Yeah.
is considered the most,
The six,
most population
Mhm.
in the world,
Mhm.
next to China.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Why we-
number 2. What did the inner line regulation do for the Mizo people?
So uh, it preserves their culture because
Mm,
no other people, no outsiders could get into the area because of the British regulation. We have a
yes, correct. So it's on the fourth paragraph, right?
I found it right.
Yeah, British colonizers introduced the inner line regulation,
Mhm.
which restricted the entry of outsiders into tribal populated Mizo hills.
Mhm.
So this regulation or the regulation helped protect the rights and
Yes.
culture of the tribal people.
Mhm.
Okay, correct. Next, what is the Mizo community over self lifestyle about?
It is about the spirit of helping others in need.
Very good. That is correct, Kazuki.
Mhm.
So the Mizo community over self lifestyle about is helping others in need. Okay. So that is very, very nice, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm. Okay. Now, this time, please read out the article. Kazuki, are you ready to read?
I'm ready.
Okay, please read.
Indians Mizoram state, a selfless community. Mizoram, Mizoram, Indians northeastern state, has a population of a little more than 1 million, making it India's second least populous state. Mizoram almost feels like a different country compared to the rest of India. But what makes this state so unique is its way of life. At the very basic level, it's about being honest, kind, and helpful to others. That on a larger level, it's about being selfless and putting the community before yourself. Mizoram was recognized as a separate state in 1987. British colonizers introduced the Inner Line Regulation, which restricted the entry of outsiders into tribal populated Mizo Hills. The regulation helped protect the rights and culture of the tribal people. The regulation also means that any Indian who's not from Mizoram needs a permit to enter, study, or work there. It also limits the entry of visitors, a reason Mizoram remains a relatively regulated society. There is, therefore, a strong sense of being Mizo and a need to protect Mizo values and its way of life. Assistant Professor Rose Larmemurati, who teaches Mizo literature at Mizoram University in Aizawa, says that these distinct Mizo values are passed down from one generation to another. In order to preserve their customs and values, the Young Mizo Association (YMA) was established. It focuses on teaching the spirit of Mizo. Their charity work extends to every occasion, such as rebuilding a road and when there are landslides or funerals. YMA communications the message in the locality, and everyone comes to help. In villages, if someone is building a house, everyone helps voluntarily. In Mizoram, harmony and sustainability of society, rather than economic wealth, are the primary objectives of development. The Mizo community of a self lifestyle is about the spirit of helping others in need.
Okay. So I have listed down some of your very, very slightly mispronounced words. You are very good in your pronunciation, Kazuki. Good job.
Mhm.
So now let's practice some of your slightly mispronounced words. Because at first you pronounced the word tribal, but later on you correct it into tribal. Okay, let's practice tribal.
Tribal,
Yes, tribal.
tribal,
Then this one communicates.
communicates,
Communicates.
communicates.
Yes, and then primary.
Primary.
Okay, you are very good in. How many months have you been in native camp, Kazuki?
Uh, for 2 months now.
Only 2 months?
Yes, but I studied. I studied English before I joined club.
Ah, so you studied from other.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's move on to our discussion part. Please answer each question freely, Kazuki, or by using the situation given. That is,
Mm-hmm.
you can find the situation under the question. If you want, you can use that. So I will read each question, then you can answer freely, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, is India a place that you would like to visit someday? Why or why not?
Well, it's well, I have a bold feeling because I'd like to visit there someday. But then again, I've heard most of Japanese people who visited there
Mm.
have some problems of their health conditions.
Why?
Because Japan is so clean, and we respect hygienists here.
Mm.
But in India, the environment is not as clean as in Japan.
Mm.
And I don't think they have enough clear water. I mean, clean water.
Really?
Yes. So
OMG. So you mean to say if you will take a shower, it's not
mhm.
clean?
I don't know about shower, but
Mm.
maybe
Drink.
drink
How
or
about bottled water?
I've never been there, so I
Mm.
don't know much about that. But
Mm.
maybe the food is also a little different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You are uh you are thinking about the way they cook their foods.
Yes,
Okay. So
maybe.
that's your
Oh,
concern.
right. Yes. Maybe they drink water the from the tap that they can
Mm.
get clean water, but maybe when they do dishes, they might use different water. I really don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's so unhygienic, right?
Right. Yes. So of course they have a variety of culture and ruins,
Mm.
and it must be very interesting and enjoyable to see the live old town.
Yes, yes.
There are so many people there,
Mm.
but still, considering the the hygienist situation,
Yes.
I
So,
can't say I like to.
so it's very, very opposite of Japan.
Right.
Japan is so clean.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. I had this friend, she
Hmm.
told me because 2 years ago,
Hmm.
she and her family went to Japan for a
Hmm.
tour, and it's very, very clean. Your
Yes.
country is very clean.
Yes.
So it's very opposite of India.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Now let's move on to our next question. Would you like to live in a community like Mizoram's? Would you
Yeah.
like to live in a community like Mizoram's? And then tell me the
Mhm.
reason why.
Yeah, I would like to live in the community like Israel, but actually, the in the old days, Japan was like this.
Mm,
Japan is a farming country, and
mm,
before we introduced a lot of machines to do farming, because rice farming requires a lot of human labor works.
yes.
As a village as a whole, they usually help each other to do to harvest all the rice, because there is certain period of time when they have to do something in the rice field, and at that time they requires a lot of labor work. So most of the every villagers had to help them. But because we introduced modern machinery to do farming, so we didn't have to ask others to help them do some right to do harvest, and not like in the old days. So we didn't our it's not our villages are not exactly like Mizorams anymore, but they have some kind of harmonious and helping mind.
Yes.
But it sometimes it's not very easy to live there, because even though you don't even if I didn't feel like helping them because of my health problem, or if I had something I wanted to do, but I couldn't say no. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if you will ask me, yes, same with you. I would like to live in a community like Mizorams first because I would feel safe in that kind
uh,
of community with honest people because people there are
mhm,
honest,
mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm,
So I would feel at ease in
mhm,
public knowing that if I lost my wallet, it would
mhm,
most likely be returned,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
Second,
Yes.
I would know I could always count on my neighbors for help,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
For
If
ex-
you don't have any salt, maybe you can ask them
yeah.
able to give some. Yes.
Mm. For example, if I had to go out of town, I could
Mhm.
rely on them to look after my house,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that is always the case in rural areas in Japan.
Yes.
They very rural area. They don't lock their houses, even though they
Really?
in Japan.
Oh,
Yes.
in Japan?
Yes, I
And
do. I do my houses. I'm not living in a rural area.
mm,
It's not very urban. I'm from Tokyo, so I cannot imagine to leave someone's house unlocked. But but
yes.
in Nara, and Nara is kind of rural area, but
Mm,
the place where I live is where it's close to Osaka, so it's not that
mm,
rural, but it's
mm,
not that hard. But if we go to to southern part of Nara, which is very rural, and
mm.
then they usually don't lock their
They
houses.
don't lock their houses.
Yeah,
Oh. So it's really good to know that
right. They
because
know.
in our
No.
country you cannot do that. For security purpose in our country, you have to lock your house when you
Yeah,
go. Well, yeah.
usually too, but there are some areas
Mm.
they don't. They feel very safe with
Mm,
that.
okay. Now let's move on to number three. Do you think most people are selfless?
I don't think so. Especially the people in our urban area. Mm,
Mm,
But yeah, because due to COVID-19, there are some people who are who are
helping others, right? Mm,
and I there so sometimes TV programs report about the people who help them a lot.
yeah. Most especially the frontliners, right?
Mhm,
Mm,
but here in Japan, live
mm,
house, I mean the concert musician
mm,
can cannot play any concert on that venue,
mm,
because there are some cases that the coronavirus spread during
mm,
their.
mm,
So those some music producers,
mm,
they mm, uh, privately uh,
mm.
lend some money to those
Mm,
to the musicians
yes.
who don't have any jobs right now.
Wow, that's very, very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so we have the last question.
Mhm.
Do you think it is important to do volunteer work in your community, Kazuki?
Mm, yes, I think it is important to
Have
do
you
volunteer.
tried it?
In not in my community, but when big earthquake hit nearby, I
Mm,
went to help them. But the the things that they need was required a lot of strength because
mm,
lifeline, especially water supply,
mm,
stopped. So they need a lot of water, and
mm.
to bring water to them is a is a you know is required a lot of power.
Are you
Uh,
pertaining to the 2011 earthquake, the
no,
big one?
the one is not. I'm not. I'm the one is that hit us a long time ago. It's
Ah,
10 years ago.
okay.
Yes,
So,
we
mm,
by some earthquakes.
yes, because your country always visited by earthquakes, right?
Yes, yes, Philippines as well, right? Yes,
Yeah,
I.
but not as often as Japan.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah, in our country, in a year, we only experience once or twice.
mhm.
Mm. But it's good thing that your houses are built for
Sure.
yeah,
We, we have,
differently,
yes, we have very,
earthquake proof, right?
yes, 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 we have a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah. Okay, Kazuki, thank you so much for attending my class today. I hope to see you again, or I hope you can come back to my class again.
Yeah, thank you. Have a
And
good day.
yes, have a good day too. Bye bye, Kazuki. Take care. Hi, Shino. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Not good.
Okay. So, you. Why do you feel not good? Don't say that.